Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Fab's in the house. And today I've got the Angry Baby Bear from Alliance Design here with me for a review, and we're gonna analyze the look, the sound, and the feel of this one. But hey, first of all, don't forget to like the video and to subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying this kind of content. And then let's check out the size of this guy, because overall length is gonna be right underneath 7 inches overall, with a I would say 2.9 inch long blade and a 3.9 inch long handle. This is an interesting one. So let's see how big. So I mean, it's not that big, but let's see how big it's compared. For example, on Terrorad number 2, it's a little bit bigger than that. On Terrorad number 1, it's dwarfing this guy. So yeah, and then you can check this Spyderco Para 3, sorry, which is also bigger than that. And of course, you get it, like the Paramilitary 2, of course, is gonna be bigger than that. Let's see how this guy compares up against this Chris Reeve Knives small Sebenza 21. So you can see it's a, I would say roughly the same size, probably a tad smaller than that, definitely smaller than the large Sebenza 21, and definitely smaller than the 520 Custom Knife Factory right over here, designed by Philippe Georget, and for sure it's smaller than the Snafu 2.0, also Custom Knife Factory, designed by Peter Rassenti in this case. Let's see how this guy is doing up against this beauty here. This is the Shirogorov Fingerprint Edition Neon Zero, which also, look at that, let's see, like that. It's smaller than this guy, which is not a big one, but it's kind of like roughly the perfect EDC-able size for me. This is F95 R Slim from also Shirogorov, and you can see it's kind of like a big boy. And I want to show you like some other big boys just because it's fun. Custom Knife Factory, Tashi Barusha collaboration, Justice 2.0, and why not? I'm going to show you, since we are talking about big boys. Would you look at this guy? This is Cheburkov the Wolf. He's it's a monster of a knife, of course. But what else can I show you? I have got this culprit from Skiff right over here that I want to show you. Oh, of course, Cheburkov small Strige, also. It's a liner lock carbon fiber, but again, bigger than the Angry Baby Bear. What else I have smaller here? I've got this Olon Avalon Mokume Scale and Damascus, which is smaller, of course, than the Alliance Design. And what else can I show you? I'm gonna show you just a couple more, just because I love these guys. This is the Holt Bladeworks Spectre V3 Prestige, and I'm gonna show you this guy over here because I really like this guy. This is a permanent collection. Fontenil Pateau Laitière Nature, beautiful knife. I think we are pretty much good to go. Actually, no. I'm going to show you another couple small ones because we have them here. My buddy Guillaume sent this guy along for me to check them out. This is the small Nirvana from Peter Rassenti, and this is the small Paisan from Peter Rassenti, so you can have an idea of the size of these guys. I don't know if you have these two to compare it for yourself, but you know how big these guys are, and then you have an idea of the size, kinda, of the Angry Baby Bear right over here. So really interesting. All right, let's get started. So this is an interesting one, guys. It's nicely made, I have to say. I think this is made by Riat, but I couldn't find any information about this. This is Alliance Designs Ray Laconico design. It's a very interesting bolster lock with some nice carbon fiber inlays and, of course, titanium scales with a black finish, and I think I would say like a slight stonewash finish as well. It's a very interesting one. It's gonna run you around $360, so it's not a cheap one like by any means. It's made in China. It's nicely done, I have to say. It has a nice feel to it. You can see that these inlays are beautifully inlaid, and there's no lip, no bevel, no nothing. It's super smooth. It's a very good feeling. It actually reminds me about the Mini Glimpse Steelcraft series. It's kind of like the same quality, like when you handle it. So I hope you understand what I'm talking about. Nicely chamfered on this side, on the outside, sorry, and on the inside I would say a little bit. It's not sharp, but there's not extensive chamfering going on. There's no internal skeletonization to reduce the weight, so the scales are just like solid slabs of titanium. There is no jimping going on whatsoever in any point of this knife. It's nice here because, I mean, this is a small one, so probably you're not gonna be putting this up to do any hard task whatsoever. You have carbon fiber backspacer right over here, which has a drilled hole to use your lanyard right there, and then you have like an external, really tiny external lock release relief, and here, this area, it's probably my biggest complaint. This one and this one. There's some love to bring around this area because, yeah, you see, like this, the lock bar, it's not that accessible. So you need kind of like to jam your finger in it to be able to disengage the lock bar. But then you're gonna be, I mean, it's doable, yeah, of course. But I would have preferred something a little bit wider here. I know it doesn't, I mean, lines are still clean, but still, it's not that accessible. And also this area here, I mean, this is a little bit sharp. I would have preferred maybe a little bit more chamfering going on for the flipper tab, but it's, I mean, that's just me. Also, you've got, there's no stainless steel lock face insert, so, but I never experienced any lock stick in this case because you got titanium up against steel, so it might happen in the future, but I never experienced on this one, so good geometry for sure. Also, you've got a very simple construction. You've got T8 Torx bit screw needed to disassemble the pivot and the two handle screws right over here, which are, by the way, screwed in right into the titanium. They pass through the backspacer and they screw in inside the titanium, which is not always like a good idea because if you strip that, yeah, you're gonna be in trouble. But not a biggie, just be careful. You've got a 3D mill titanium pocket clip, tip-up carry only, right side only, so it's not ambidextrous, it's not reversible. And if you deploy the blade, you're gonna notice that you're gonna meet an RWL34 steel, which is not marked anywhere. So yeah, I mean, you have to trust what they say. And it has a nice machine satin finish to it with bi-directional, actually there's one, two, and three directions in this pretty cool compound grind tanto blade with this harpoon going on. Ray Laconico marking is subtly placed on the spine of the blade. It's not perfectly centered, if you see that. It's not like it should be. It's a little bit close to the top, but not a biggie. You've got a nice harpoon here. It is a little bit on the sharp side. You've got a nice wedge going on right up to the tip. Tanto right there, which is kind of like very gentle curve. I think maybe it's straight. I cannot say. Maybe there's a gentle curve. You've got a flat grind right here in the Tanto, and then you have a hollow grind for the primary bevel with the full belly up to the tiny sharpening choil right over here. I think this is it's not like a fully functional sharpening choil because you see, like, you're gonna end up placing your finger right at the heel of the blade, so it's right there. Maybe the tip, you can use it like as a tip like that, just to increase your precision in some carving work, but I would have preferred maybe a little bit more wide opening just for this part right over here. But You've got a nice plunge grind and nice flats. The satin, the machine satin, it's nicely done. I appreciate this the belt markings going on, showing this beautiful satin finish. Of course, there's no billboarding on the sides, which I truly appreciate because it leaves like a nice and clean look to this pretty tall actual blade. The stock thickness is a little bit on the thick side for this for a knife of this size, but it's all right. It's gonna be a good slicer because of the hollow grind right there. The sound this guy makes, it's snappy, not loud, nice thud, and nice click when you close it. It's interesting, snappy and clicky. I like it. Nice sound when the blade hits the stop pin, and like even here, it's pretty good. Not obnoxious in any ways. So this guy is gonna weigh in at 3.6 ounces in your pocket, and when you hold it in your hand, you feel a little bit of hot spot over here, and there's some, of course, some sharpness going on right over here. So I mean, there's no jimping whatsoever, so it's pretty smooth overall. But the grip is it's I don't know, it's a little bit chubby and short for my hand at least. It feels okay because it's rounded off nicely, but there's something off. I mean, probably it's because like my hand are so big and this guy it just ends right here. So I need something else in this area to feel more comfortable and do maybe more heavy duty tasks. But this is not meant for that. So it's still good. Reverse grip, I probably wouldn't do it because look, it's just not staying in my hand, so I wouldn't try to do that. But overall, this guy feels absolutely solid in the hand because of the backspacer, because of the compact size of it, and there's no flex to it. It's sturdy, it's robust. It feels like nicely built. It's very smooth finished, and there's no texture. I mean, it's super sleek on the surface, and if you check for gaps around the inlay, you don't see any. It's really precisely done. It's nicely done, guys. We have to give it to them. It's very good. Of course, there's no blade plate, super solid. It stays there. The clip retention is on the right side. Nice clip ramp right over here. It's going to be in and out of the pocket with no struggle. So very good. It's nicely balanced in the hand, and the deployment speed it's nice for a blade of like this small. It's actually nice. What it's probably needing a little bit of more attention is the flipper tab, because it's sharp, guys. Like if you do push button, yeah, you can do it, but after like, I don't know, 3, 5, 10 times, you're gonna be, you see, it's not gonna work. So you better be off like using this side of the flipper tab and just deploy it with a light switch, like so. It's gonna be firing out like very reliably and with no effort. So very good and smooth. So no finger sore as long as you do the light switch. Also, you've got bearings around the pivot to produce this pretty nice action. You have, I would say, a medium light detent strength. You don't have any kickback when you deploy the blade, because of course the blade is kind of like small, and of course you've got the tip, which is a little bit, I mean, if you put your finger like that, you feel that I can feel the tip. For example, I can just, you see, open the knife like that, so which means I can access the tip a little bit too much. So I would have preferred for it to be a little bit more protected. It's not a big deal. I mean, you can rub it like that and nothing is gonna happen, but if you just try to jam it like your nail inside, you see, you can actually snag it. So just a little bit more in that department and we're gonna be good to go. Of course, There's no rattling when shaken. It's nicely put together. Just very simple construction, but solidly built. Of course, I mean, I said it. There's a little bit of impediment here to disengage the lock bar. Nothing too crazy. There's no lock stick. There's no detent ball ramp, so you're gonna feel a little bit of a hard step going on right here. You got a free fall, of course, as soon as you disengage the lock bar because of this cage bearing, but you're gonna need a little bit of wiggle for the blade to get back in the closed position. And you have this very low amount of detent suction when trying to put the blade closed in the closed position. So overall, I mean, it's a good looking knife. It's attractive, I have to say. Nicely, gently curved. I like this area here. The harpoon is good. The complex grind, really good. Just bring a little bit of love around the flipper tab, around the disengagement for the lock bar. Handle is nicely contoured, looks good, sounds really good. It feels good. It's a little bit small for my hands. My wife loves this guy, but overall, it's a nice one. A little bit pricey, but it's a good one for sure. So there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe. And thanks for watching. Stay tuned.